What's up everyone, Nukin here and welcome back. We're going to continue the bounty hunter discussion today. So first thing, if you haven't seen my most recent video on bounty hunters, wherever the top right is, there's going to be a card. Click that, watch it, then come back here. That's where I talk about how to mod your team and who makes the team and why, etc. So if you've already watched that, then you're in the right place. And we're going to continue the discussion. We're going to talk about some abilities that you want to consider upgrading. I'm going to highlight the mods that I'm actually using, and you're going to see the significant difference from my mod suggestions to what I'm actually using. So real world scenario, and then we're going to go into phase 3 and look at some gameplay in that specific bounty hunter mission. There's a pretty epic 2v5 battle. I won't want to ruin it for anyone if you don't want to have spoilers, but yeah, we're going to cover everything like that today. So first off, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should do that probably, and give this video a thumbs up. I think you're going to like it. So I lied, one more thing. If you don't want to see the mods and abilities, it might be kind of boring for you guys. I mean, it's not the most exciting thing. So there's a pinned message, and you can probably just skip to when the gameplay footage is going to be at. Okay, so now let's get started. Alright, so right before we jump into the gameplay, let's take a look at the team. So Boba Fett down to Cad Bane, that's what I'm using. So we got 3 Gear 8 characters. Let's look at the mods. So I did make a video on how to mod these guys properly. Don't have those mods that I was suggesting, but this is what I'm using here. I just wanted to show everyone that even without the proper mod suggestions, it still can be done. So Boba Fett's running a speed arrow, but it's not a arrow. It's not a mod that really does anything. It's an offense mod, and I'm running a speed set, and there's no 2-piece set, so preferably I wouldn't want it to be an offense arrow, but it did have 30 speed. And then I have a crit damage triangle and a health cross. I prefer to run potency here, of course, like I was suggesting earlier, and total speed is 214 with 45% crit chance. So that's Boba Fett. Let's move on to IG-88. He's running at 175 speed with 54% crit chance. And let's look at his mods. Speed arrow, crit damage triangle, and potency cross. So he's modded alright. And let's look at Zam. We have a offense arrow. So this is another deviation from my suggestion. You want a speed arrow. And it's the same reason why you still give speed arrows to resistance. Crit damage triangle and a potency cross, and she's running a random tenacity set. So could be better for sure. Here's Dengar running we got, what do we got there? 4 crit chance mods, so that's good. He's missing a 2-piece potency set. Offense arrow, not what you want for Dengar. Crit damage triangle and potency cross. He's running at what, 119 speed? Oh, very slow. 48% crit chance. That's Dengar. And lastly, we have Cad Bane speed set with the 2-piece. Oh, don't even have a second potency mod, so no 2-piece for him. We do have a speed arrow, but it's three dots, so not as much as a 5-dot. Offense triangle, not bad. It has some secondary speed there, but you probably want something like crit damage and potency cross. So that's a good primary for Cad Bane. All right, so those are the mods, and actually let's take a look at their abilities that you probably want to upgrade if you haven't already. So we got, definitely want to get execute, -1 cooldown when you kill things. That's great. Of course, you want to Omega the leader ability, because he's going to be your leader. 10% critical chance is quite good. And then you don't really need to upgrade anything else. you know, this is not necessary, and this is a Zeta, which you could consider, but I don't think it's necessary. So that's Boba Fett. IG-88, you probably want to upgrade this potentially. It's just an extra debuff, but I don't think it's necessary. Consider that one optional. You do want to debuff your enemies. This is defense down. Defense down is not the strongest debuff, but it can potentially help. I don't think it's required, but it could help you out. Don't upgrade his leader because he's not your leader, and that's not an Omega ability. Let's go on to Zam. I think the best ability to upgrade is her Thermal Detonator See What Sticks ability, and that's because it minuses the cooldown by 1, so she can kind of support herself better. You could consider Omegaing this if you're using this ability, which applies that expose. Don't think it's required. And now to Dengar. I think you might want to consider upgrading. Actually, let's do his basic attack. You might want to consider 10% assist chance. Could make or break your consistency of beating these battles, so might want to consider doing that. This is pretty good. I end up trying to use this ability quite often. -1 cooldown, Omegas are decent, and being able to stun targets is strong, so that's one to consider. I don't think this one is very important, and that's not an Omega. And then Cad Bane, I don't have any of his abilities even level 7, but his basic attack Omega is not terrible, and this is not required. Leader, you're not running it, although if you're feeling lucky and you think you can dodge a lot, then go for it. And this isn't very important either, you're not fighting Jedi enemies. So those are all the mods and abilities for your bounty hunter squad. Alright, so let's get into some gameplay footage here. So these are my bounty hunters. We're in wave 1 of 4. For the first wave, I just was using my basic attacks. I didn't want to use any of my specials. I was saving that for wave 2. So just basic here, basic there for all of my characters. Boba Fett, again, is gear 12. IG-88 is gear 11, and the rest of them are gear 8. So now we're in wave 2, and you start to use some of your specials with Boba Fett, Zam, Dengar, etc. For Boba Fett, he's able to decrease the cooldown if he kills someone with execute -1. So you can kind of get away with that. Zam, check this out. Boom. Boom. Bam. Alright, so she's able to go back to back to back. Whenever she hits thermal detonators, she gets a bunch of turn meter. And check this out. Thermal detonators all over again. So now we're in wave 3, and we're going to repeat the process. We're going to start to use some more specials. Here's Cad Bane. He just stunned someone. That was the first time that I used a special with Cad Bane. And let's execute. Boom. So really just... Oh, we dodged there. That was unfortunate. She could have gone another 2 or 3 times there. But now we have characters in stealth with the thermal detonators on them, so Zam cannot get to them, unfortunately. But here's some more thermal detonators. It's kind of fun to use Zam. You know, not the biggest bounty hunter fan. Prefer the Empire. But they're alright. So wrapping up wave 3 here, when you start to get close to ending wave 3, you want to save your specials. So for Cad Bane, I saved his special, same with IG-88, just doing some basic attacks with everyone. So we go into the last wave with all of our specials off cooldown. So here's the last wave right here. And we have 3 elites and 3 rebel pilots. And now we're just gonna unload. So this is the last wave, so there's really nothing that you need to kind of save stuff on. When you're using Dengar's first special, target units that have more than 50% turn meter, you'll stun them. For Zam, make sure that you're hitting, again, those targets with thermal detonators. Stun a target with Cad Bane that isn't already stunned if you stun someone with Dengar. Use your execute on targets that have a lot of buffs and debuffs stacked on them. Boba Fett just did 66k and took out an elite just a moment ago. And now we're down to 2 bounty hunters against 5. And you may think that it all is over, but you don't give up. So Boba Fett can attack targets through taunt. Sometimes it's buggy. We took out a pilot there. Took out another pilot there. So now we even the odds down to 2 to 3. As long as you can kill a target and get bounty hunters resolve back again, Boba Fett will keep reviving. So back to back, we're able to kind of hang in there with Boba Fett. And you can Zeta Boba Fett's unique, and he'll gain full protection when he revives, so that's even better. So something to consider, but I don't think it's necessary. Now we're down to 2 elites versus Boba Fett and Gear 8 Dengar, which is really hanging in there. And the reason why he's able to do that is he goes into stealth, so it protects himself. And he's quite tanky as well. Can't wait to see, there he goes into stealth, hanging on by a sliver of life. He's quite tanky though for Gear 8, so I really am excited to see him when he's at Gear 9 or Gear 10. We're down to 2 elites again, and the elite on the left is almost dead. Got one more stun in there. Let's take him out. Very good. Now just Boba Fett dueling this soldier. And we have execute off cooldown, so we're good to go. And one more hit. Execute. Boom. And that's how you get 4 for 4 waves on the bounty hunter mission. Alright, so I'm going to wrap up here. We talked about some bounty hunter stuff. We went over some abilities. We went over the specific mods that I'm currently running. Hopefully they're better next Dark Side territory battle, but we'll have to see. We did some gameplay footage of Phase 3 with them on that specific mission, and you know what? I'm starting to like Zam a little bit. She reminds me of Vader going back to back with the dots under the Palpatine lead, and then when he did the Culling Blade and he killed someone, he would go again. So he's like a mini Vader? I don't know. So if you're struggling with your bounty hunter squad, or if you're really successful, I think people might want to hear about that in the comments, and I'll try to answer any questions. So drop a comment below on where your bounty hunters are at and what you're doing, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.